Well, let's talk to Colonel James Sunderland, former Tory MP, had a 27-year military career before becoming an MP in 2019. Let's talk about what's going on in Israel and the Middle East. Colonel James, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Yeah, I'm seeing you as a very friendly distraction from the horrors of this Keir Starmer government that you dumped us with.
I know, I'm so sorry. If only we could turn the clock back. I think that buyer's remorse is out there. I've never seen arrogance and sleaze and hypocrisy like it. And I think in 4 or 5 years' time, maybe the British people will forgive the Conservatives. We are competent. We may even come back.
Yeah, it is extraordinary, isn't it? And I'm just to stay on this theme for a moment. It's extraordinary how he has become so unpopular in such a short period of time, and how he's kind of mangled this whole, wardrobe gate, gift gate, whatever you want to call it, situation, and doesn't seem to have any ability to see how the public see him.
It's extraordinary. If you think that he stood on a ticket to clean up politics, he stood on a ticket to kick out these sleazy Tories. I mean, it's quite extraordinary that what's actually happened is that all this is unravelled now. I mean, my colleagues in Westminster at the moment tell me, and it's not sour grapes, they are bewildered by how bad this government is and how bad ministers appear to be on their feet. I've just come back from Birmingham for the Conservative conference. It was very reflective, but also upbeat. It was very positive, and it was a really good few days where we buried some ghosts and we were able to look forward with 4 excellent leadership candidates.
Yeah, we're talking to Tom Tugendhat a little bit later on in the show today, so we'll let you know how that goes. Let's talk about Israel and what's going on. So Ben Wallace, talking in the Telegraph this morning, says UK forces are not up to defending Israel effectively. The RAF lacks weapons to hit Iranian missiles and destroyers are ill-equipped. I'm not surprised to hear that, and I'm also probably going to add they may not be up to defending Britain, the RAF, might they?
Well, I mean, it's an extraordinary call. I mean, I think the reality right now is that British forces are so committed with their logistics support to Ukraine at the moment. A lot of equipment, of course, has gone that way. I think that in terms of time, it will take a lot of time to rebuild the armed forces because of the commitment that we've given Ukraine. Is it our responsibility to defend Israel? I'm not sure it is. I mean, it's happened in April last year when Iran launched all those drones and missiles at Israel. We had a responsibility, I think, to keep the peace at that point in time, alongside the Americans and the French and other allies. But getting directly involved is something that we should not be doing. I
don't think Israel needs us to be involved, to be honest. I mean, they've obviously got such a brilliant military intelligence operation. They've obviously got that brilliant Iron Dome system and the David Sling system, and I think there's another system as well, which helps them. But I was saying this just the other day, and I don't know whether you would share this idea, that it's almost as though Israel's now doing the dirty work for every other kind of Western nation in the Middle East. You know, they're kind of cleaning up Lebanon, cleaning up Gaza, cleaning up Palestine, and possibly going to be cleaning up Iran as well.
Yeah, it's extraordinary, actually. What's interesting at the moment is that we're entering a new phase of this conflict. Israel's becoming ever more belligerent, ever bolder. It's taking some really strong decisions. You know, the best form of defence is attack, and I think that what we're seeing now is Israel has virtually wiped out the Hamas capability in Gaza. It's now going after Hezbollah. And what's also interesting is if you look at what they're doing at the moment in Lebanon, they are bombing the tunnels, they're blocking the tunnels, they're removing that possibility that Hezbollah might launch a similar operation to what Hamas did last year on that terrible day in October. So The Israelis aren't mucking about. They've got some fantastic weapon systems, their ISTAR capabilities, their intelligence, their surveillance, target acquisition capabilities are the best in the world. They can hit whoever they want now with impunity.
Yeah, and I think we all welcome the fact that they can do that, and let's hope that that means that they can swiftly, at some point or other, bring this all to an end, and, you know, we can start to try and get back to where the Middle East was before October the 7th last year, where the Abraham Accords meant that actually Israel was talking to the UAE, was doing business with the UAE, was talking to Saudi, was somehow, you know, integrating itself into the Arab world.
I totally agree. If you look at where the Abraham Accords were and how close Israel was with a deal in terms of Saudi and other Arab nations, I mean, this is clearly a deliberate attempt by Iran to destabilise that, but it's far worse. I mean, these are human atrocities.
Yeah.
Wherever you sit on the Israel-Palestine spectrum, it is absolutely clear that Iran and its proxies are committed to the total destruction of Israel. What would the Americans do? What would the Brits do? What would the French do in that circumstance? So you are absolutely right. The Israelis are now doing what any sovereign nation might consider doing, although, of course, it still has to operate as best it can within the rule of international law. And that's quite important, because ultimately what Israel can't do is completely isolate itself on the international stage.
No, I think that's right. Colonel James Sunderland, thank you very much indeed, former Tory MP there. As I said, we'll be talking to Tom Tugendhat, who's also, of course, a former military man. He's coming into the studio later on this afternoon.